Since I came all this way, could I just meet the woman in charge, your CEO?
Oh, that would be me.
Oh, your CFO.
Me.
Your COO.
Here.
Are any women in charge?
Judging from today's report into the gender pay gap, it would appear not, Margot. Nearly 5,000 Aussie businesses with 100 employees or more forced to reveal what they pay each worker. And the results?
There is a substantial problem in this country when you've got essentially 2/3 of businesses with a gender pay gap in favour of men.
Across the board, that pay gap sits at 19%, but in some industries, the figures become much more dire. Jetstar and Virgin at 43 and 41% respectively. At the big four banks, men get between 18 and 30% more than their female colleagues.
When you look at every industry across the board, the gender pay gap is in favour of men. Some gender pay gaps are actually close to zero, while others may be at 30, 40 and 50%.
Of course, those figures aren't comparing like with like. Companies quick to point out it's not necessarily that women are paid less for the same job, but rather that men who work in management or as pilots or engineers earn more than women who tend to hold lower skilled positions.
I'm a man with no power. Does that make me a woman?
And that's seen some call
total bullshit
on the whole thing.
These type of reports are becoming annual Andrew Tate recruitment drives. All they do is spread division and resentment in our community. Young men in particular feel like they are now being discriminated against.
I disagree with those comments. Women are not getting the promotions they need. They're not getting ahead in the fields that they deserve.
The fields women most deserve to get ahead in, arguably companies whose entire brand relies exclusively on its female customers. Among the worst performers, Forever New with a 51% gap, Pandora at 52% and Lorna Jane at 37%. Again, they say most of their workforce is female, but a few men at the top have skewed figures.
We are a company literally made of women.
To brands that make your money off of women, you better be doing all you can to support women in your own companies.
So will naming and shaming our most prominent companies finally be enough to end the gender pay gap? CEO of Women Rising, Megan Dalla-Camina, is here to tell us more. Megan, what did you make of today's results?
Good evening. I think it's really great that we now have some transparency that we've never had before in terms of the gender pay gap in this country amongst organisations. And I know there's a lot of bit of controversy about the numbers, but we have a view, women have a view, men have a view, and organisations now have a really good metric as to where are they at and what is the work that is left to do.
There also seem to be some seagulls trying to silence you. Can you confirm whether they're male or female?
Misogynistic seagulls.
We can confirm it, Megan.
Misogynistic parrots, actually.
Oh, parrots. Okay. In some cases, I wonder if the argument or the defence the companies are making is actually pretty fair. Like, I think about Forever New, Pandora, Lorna Jane. So what's that? A fashion house, a jewellery outlet, and women's activewear, I think. I mean, the way you would solve...
Well done, Waleed.
Thank you.
Pretended like he didn't know what it was.
Yeah. Well, no, I actually asked Sarah just before we came on. But like the way you would solve the gender pay gap average in those situations would be to have men on the floor selling that stuff. But do you think women really want to buy their activewear off men?
Well, it's really interesting. I mean, I go into Lululemon, as does my 23-year-old son. There's men everywhere on the shop floor, you know, that you are buying from for men's apparel, women's apparel. I think it's about how we are looking at roles and gendered roles across organisations. And absolutely what we're focused on is how do we pull more women through into those roles, through the pipeline, into management roles, into CEO roles, so that we can balance out some of this data that we're seeing.
OK, Megan, what should businesses be doing then to close the gap, besides getting Waleed down on the floor at Lorna Jane selling some activewear?
So I'd like to see that. I'll come and buy something from you.
I don't no guarantees it'll be what you need.
Yeah. But he's very good at fitting, Megan.
Absolutely.
Oh, OK, I'll take note of that. Thank you. I want organisations to really be looking at their data, really understand where their issues and gaps are, to look at where are they investing in their women, what are the career development plans. We saw 1 in 5 women want to leave the workforce altogether, women of non-retirement age. These are staggering statistics, and organisations need to be looking at the whole spectrum of those things.
Megan, thank you, and the parrots for joining us tonight. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.